أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم. Just to reconnect with the past lecture, I may uh, display some of the points again. Leaving a legacy is a human need. We had discussed it last time, and we have all the human beings have a desire to live forever, right from Adam. We have a desire, and then we also find that in this process we are in fact trying to perpetuate ourselves, our own anfus, and then we can do this through ideas, values, personal examples, leaving these for the others in their minds. And leaving a legacy is also a matter of compassion. We had discussed it last time. And then we had read this small statement from one sociologist, Norman Cousins, who wrote an intriguing piece related to legacy. What is the eternal ultimate problem of a free society? And this is, I think, very relevant to Muslim society. It is the problem of the individual who thinks that one man cannot possibly make a difference in the destiny of that society. We are suffering from this problem. And this is further aggravated by our concept about predetermination, predetermined kismat or predetermined takdir. This is further aggravated by that problem. And everybody in every society, in every country, you talk to Muslims and they say, "What can I do? I can't do anything, and it's far beyond me." And then we are coming to today's lecture that when we pass through these processes, today I will discuss another aspect of the legacy. And we are also suffering on that account. I'm touching upon those points which are in fact the elements of the Muslim society in the world today. When we pass through those things which I've discussed today, the concept of me becomes we. And when we become we, this concept keeps on growing during the process. We encompasses when we become we instead of me, I become we. We encompasses past and future, both old and young. It combines, it brings a bridge between them, and the society we create by combining the past and the future. And the society we create in the present, it perpetuates itself. The process of perpetuation that gives us, in fact, the satisfaction that I can live forever. The patent I have created, the book I have written, the monument I have created, for example, piece of music, piece of painting, or anything, are far greater than that. Something done for the benefit of the human beings. Then we feel satisfied. It gives us satisfaction that now I have perpetuated it. Now, this piece which we are going to discuss, it is a problem at the family level, and then it is affecting the entire society. This I will try to explain a little bit in detail. Society is indeed a contract. And one of the examples, although it may appear to be very small, but it is very important, very essential. And I think the most important aspect, or most important example of the contract is the social contract of nikah, marriage. Society at a bigger level is a contract. Rousseau introduced the idea of a social contract. At the societal level, it is social contract. At the family level also, it is the social contract. It is called the social contract. And that social contract in the Muslim jargon, in the Muslim world, is the nikah. But what are we doing with this contract? First of all, allow me to criticize or allow me to say, allow me to point out that we are not treating it as a contract. We are treating it one man's domination, male domination. We have created a male dominated society in which the man is dominating, and the concept of nikah, the concept of social contract has completely vanished. But even when in the educated societies, in the enlightened societies, and in some of the communities in the West, people who are more enlightened, the Muslim communities in the West who are more enlightened, and they understand the importance of social contract, the importance of nikah as social contract, they don't keep it to the next higher level. The contract, the nikah nama, the nikah becomes a dead contract. It is not a living contract. It is in another way again male dominated, and in some ways where the woman is dominating, there are instances that in some cases woman is dominating. It is a race, a escalatory dominance in a society in the West. Even the some of the Muslim women, not all, some of the Muslim women, they are also in the race in the which is called escalatory dominance. And the man is already in this race of escalatory dominance. What is escalatory dominance? The escalatory dominance is, for example, that if the woman has played a, something, has shot something, has played something, or she has thrown something which weighs 9 kg, the man must throw a weight of 10 kg. And if he throws the weight of 10 kg, javelin throw, for example, when he throws a javelin throw of 10 kg, the woman must hit back and she must throw 15 kg, and then the man must throw 20 kg, and then ultimately they must break each other's neck. This is escalatory dominance. What is happening in the Middle East today? Israel is following the policy of escalatory dominance. Even if the Palestinian is playing with a catapult, they will, in escalatory dominance, the other party will throw a missile. So this is escalatory dominance. This, first of all, we don't believe, although we conclude nikah, but we don't believe in the nikah nama as a social contract. But even when in the enlightened societies, in some enlightened communities, it is treated as a social contract, it becomes dead with time. People forget about it, that what I had contracted. But even when some people they remember it, they become victims of escalatory dominance. That what is the main failure? That is hampering the family, which is the building block of the society. And the Muslim communities, Muslim families are not leaving enough collective legacy. We don't believe in this concept that ultimately my legacy is going to contribute collectively to the society. We have not created as bigger, as giant institutions like, say, Memorial Herman, so many other education institutions and universities which are getting billions of dollars as legacy funds, because we don't believe in the collective contribution, making it a collective legacy. And individual legacies, when contributed to the collective cause, they become collective legacies. So here we are failing in many respects. I have started with the family. Now, when the family contract as a social contract is failing, either it becomes dead or it becomes a victim of escalatory dominance. But the next stage where we are failing it, that we are not taking it to the higher level, the same contract, it has to be taken with time, with the age of the spouses, with the age in the family, with the age of wife and husband, it should be taken to the next level, and that is partnership. Our marriages in the Muslim society, in most of the cases, an overwhelming majority of cases, Although there is a social contract called nikah, they are not taking to the level where these spouses become partners. They are not partners. They are not living as partners. And most importantly, unfortunately, they are not living as equal partners. If not as equal partners, at least in a system of equilibrium of a family where spouses live in equilibrium, or they live in an environment of equitability, equity, if not equality. Many times equality is not achievable, and I'm not professing equality, but at least it should be equitable. There should be a system of equilibrium. It's not happening because we are not taking that social contract to the level of partnership. There's no partnership between husband and wife. I may give one example. Most of the cases which I'm discussing in these counseling sessions, and most of the cases which I've made, some of them I've mentioned in my book, which has been published last year, that husband and wife in this situation between these two spouses, a small number of husbands also, but majority of wives, they are living in an insecure environment under fear, and that is why they retaliate, they fight back, and they demand that their names should be included in the property, or the property should be transferred even before the death of the husband in their name, because they are living in a state of fear, and they know that they have not been treated as partners, as equal partners, or as equitable in a system of equitable partnership. So since we have not taken the social contract to the level of partnership, then there is another race in the family. Every member of the family tries to grab more and more from the person who is aging, and he thinks that he must inherit from him, but he might not inherit, and there is a fear. So they would like to extract more and more and grab more and more. This is happening not only because of the problems within the family, but also the extraneous elements which are affecting it. For example, the legal system. They know that there is no probate in the Muslim countries happening. The legal system is not equitable. The legal system is too expensive. It supports the wealthy, it supports the mightier. Therefore, they would like to grab anything which they can, even during the life of the person from whom there are prospects of inheriting. And after the death, when the inheritance opens, they would the mightier person, the person who has the might, he would like to grab more and more, and he would not like to share with anybody else, because the legal system does not step in, and the probate does not take place. And then the legacy, who is the main sufferer? Apparently, we find that woman is the sufferer. Apparently, we find that the children are the sufferers. Apparently, find that the widow or the orphan is the sufferer. Or in general terms, we find that the weaker is the sufferer. But ultimately, we find that as a society, legacy is the sufferer, because the legacy is not getting its due share, what it should. For example, in Aga Khani community, what they're contributing, they are quite satisfied that they will get the share, the legacy will get the share. In American society, they are quite satisfied that they will get their share. But in the Muslim society, unfortunately, kindly bear with me, that since in this legal system there are no protections and there is no guarantee, then there is, besides the escalatory dominance in this field also, there is a race of power. The person who dominates, he gets the more, he grabs the more. So not only between those who are living, but between those who are living, those who are dead, and those who are to be born. Kindly understand this. This partnership which we are talking about is the partnership not only among the living, but the living and the dead. It is a partnership between the dead and the living. And it is a partnership with those who are yet to born. This is legacy, which connects the dead with the living and the living with the born, living with the dead. This is how the legacy is created. But unfortunately, if you go to any Muslim scholar, they would not look at the legacy, the tarka, the virasat in these terms. They just give superficial fatwa. They don't look at the importance of the legacy connecting in the partnership the living, the dead, and the yet to be born. Now, after this, after the contract, when it is dead or it is it becomes victim of escalatory dominance, or when the partnership is not created, there is another thing which is we are missing in the Muslim family. In the Muslim Ummah today, we are missing after these three, after these two. The third in the line is the victim, another victim. A social concept which becomes a victim is the participatory approach. Even when husband and wife, in some very rare cases, in some cases, when they are in partnership under the social contract, under the nikah, as husband and wife, very good up to this extent, but they are still lacking participatory approach. Kindly read, reread, examine and re-examine ayat number 282 of Surah Al-Baqarah. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is prescribing for to the believers that make your imratan, not just nisa, not any woman or anybody from the street a witness to the financial transactions or to the futuristic financial transactions which are taking place in your business or in your family or in your virasat or in your wasiyat. Make your imratan. Imratan means the woman, the lady. Aziz's wife was imratan. Imratan is the lady who manages the house, who administers the house, who is just not a nisa, who is just not only a wife, who has the status. Imratan is a social, familial designation, like a first lady of the house, first lady of the country. Imratan. The participatory approach prescribed in many ayat, but for example, I have given the example of ayat number 282 of Surah An-Nisa, that make them participate in the written documents so that, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given this a special consideration. For example, we are concluding contract between me and you. There's a contract. We are going to conclude a futuristic financial contract. Two witnesses are required at least. In most of the Muslim countries also, in most of other countries also, two witnesses are required. Quran has made a very special arrangement that make two rijal. Here, rajulun also means the man from your family. It is the opposite of imratan, not anybody from the street. If only one person is available, one man is available. For example, we are two persons who are concluding a contract. You have a man who is a witness. I have no man to be a witness, and I have a woman whom I can bring to be a witness. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has consideration for my weaker position. Because of taking a woman as a witness, Allah allows me to have two women as a witness from my side. One man from one side, one partner in the contract, and two women, if man is not available, from my side, in order to balance my position against that person who is a man. Why two women? I will be in disadvantageous position. If one of the women, if I have only one woman, And if she is dull, she is not available in her place because of maternity requirements, because of monthly biological requirements, she's not available. And if the case goes to the court, I'll be suffering. If she is bearing a child till the delivery and after that suckling the child is the human right. She cannot be forced to go to the court. I'll be suffering. My case will suffer for 3 years, more than 3 years if we take all this time. Then in that case, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me a compensation that if one woman is not available, dull, then that person who is not available, she can brief, she can remind the other lady now who in her place is going, or as one person is going to appear in the court. We have seen that why it is reminding, why it is necessary recalling in a case. For example, everybody must have an experience that if you are going to the court, even if you are going to the court of a couple of months, you again revisit the case. The attorney revisits the case. The attorney briefs you, or you brief the attorney. You brief the witness, or the witnesses brief each other, and they go to the court. This is how here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that one can brief the other. If one is dull, she's not available. She's not available in her place. She is absent. The other person can replace her. That is besides the other point, which is the participation of the women, the participation of the partners, the participation of the family man and woman, the family woman, the family man, in this entire process. So here in our families, there is no participatory approach. Father is, if he is in the dominant position, or if the eldest son is in the dominant position, or in very rare cases, if the wife is in the dominant position, they ignore everybody else. But we don't go through this ladder. The contract elevated to the level of partnership, and the partnership is strengthened through participatory approach, which participatory approach enhances and consolidates familial contributions instead of wasting money in a race. The woman trying to extract as much as possible, and in many cases, I've been dealing with those cases in Houston also. The woman trying to grab as much as possible and passing on to her parental side, so that doesn't remain with the husband because she is feeling insecure with the in-laws. But if there is a participatory approach in the family, as we have seen in the West, because legal process, the legal system protects them, and they are participating with each other, the partners are participating, they make collective contributions, and that is how they make achievements on the continued and sustainable basis. For this is the benefit. This is the benefit of legacy, for the legacy. Intergenerational, I have written wrong, intergenerational benefit, tarka. If we collect all the ayat pertaining to tarka, to virasat, to inheritance, and we extract the philosophy, the social philosophy, in a very humble way, what I have submitted, this is what I have seen in those ayat, that this is what the Quran prescribes. Make it a social contract, make it a partnership, enhance it to the level of partnership, make it participatory, so that ultimately it makes contribution and achievements for the intergenerational benefit, and that is tarka. And Prophet, peace be upon him, called the tarka of Ibrahim alayhi salam as the virsa, as the wasiyat, as the sunnat. Zakaria alayhi salam called it as virsa. That is why he wanted waris. So it is, the tarka is not just something which we get on the death of somebody. It is a much bigger context, in the much bigger context of the Quran. The familial social contract, what is that? I'll just define in a couple of words, and then I think I'll stop here. That what are these terms? Social contract transforming into social partnership. If this is not happening, the ultimate victim, as I said, the weaker people maybe, they are victims, as women, the children, but the ultimate victim is the legacy. If the social partnership is not taking place, social contract transforming into social partnership secures comparative or cooperative relationships within the family instead of based on fear, for benefit of all members of a nuclear and extended family. Here in our society, the nuclear family is under fear from the extended family. Then the extended family works in somewhat an inimical manner against the nuclear family. And ultimately, it works against the woman, and she is always under fear. The participatory approaches, this is not one approach, there are many approaches in the world. Participatory approaches include recognition, acceptance, and commitment to what? To generate the funds, generate the wealth. It is not a sin to generate wealth. Kasab, earn, halal, generating, saving, it is not a sin. Hasana fil dunya, preserving is one of the purposes. Preservation is one of the purposes of Islamic jurisprudence. Preservation of person, preservation of property, preservation of faith, preservation of wealth, preserving and passing on accumulated benefit from generation to generation, one memorial after another, and after another memorial hospital and another education institution and another university, accumulated benefit to the coming generations. This is how it goes hand in hand. I stop here. After this, Allah willing, then we will start discussion further on this subject, if you will also agree. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.